shame is for the weak.
I had no shame whatsoever.
No. Shame.
What is shame for? Shame is for people that had shame to begin with. I have none.
Exactly. Yeah. No, cherry for me is the superior. If we're talking artificial fruit flavor.
Oh, okay, artificial.
Artificial.
Are we talking artificial now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if not artificial? I mean, here, let me put it this way: when I think of fruit flavors and sodas, I don't naturally go to natural because none of them taste natural.
Yeah. If you're talking a soda fruit flavor, then yes, grapefruit across the board. It's the only thing I'll drink.
You should be pretentious and call it pamplemousse.
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 There is a restaurant in town called Le Pamplemousse next to a tattoo shop where I got my first tattoo.
Oh,
the grapefruit.
The grapefruit, yeah.
Is it a grapefruit tattoo?
No, but the restaurant is named the Grapefruit. Clearly.
Does every food item have grapefruit in it?
I've never been.
What?
Because I feared that I would go and everything would not have grapefruit in it, and then it would be a crashing bar.
You would get into the fight with the Major D. Excuse me, I was promised pamplemousse.
There should be James Cagney photos on the wall here.
Oh my God. The James Cagney experience, someone just slams a grapefruit against your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
You know, he was horribly embarrassed by that, right? Like it made his career, but like for years, people would send him trays of grapefruit when he sat down to eat and everything. And he was just like, I'm not. And every script he got, they would have some thing where he like sort of roughed up a dame. And he was like, that's not me. That was that one character. Please stop this. Anyway.
Stop typecasting me.
Yeah. I just picture him getting the script for Yankee Doodle Dandy. And he's like, I don't remember him shoving grapefruit in women's faces.
Why? Why in the opening number do I keep kicking the chorus girls?
Listen here, dame.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The pamplemousse. Yeah, they probably don't, because I feel like anytime a restaurant calls itself something, I had a sleepover in junior high, and my best friend picked Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Oh my God.
With Clint Howard. And there's a weird nightmarish kind of scene where he's like this homeless guy and he's shirtless and he's wearing a mask that looks like a penis. And we were scandalized.
Suddenly interested in seeing this.
I mean, Clint Howard, star of such films as 3 from Hell, Little Nicky.
Solo.
Oh my fucking God, get away.
Is he in Solo?
Yeah, he is.
Well, it's a Ron Howard movie, so
he's at the robot fighting pit, like urging them on.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, I probably want.
He's been in Star Trek and Star Wars now.
He was in Star Trek as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good episode. Shit, that's when he was like
Clint Howard's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like Dick Miller. I'm always happy to see him.
Yeah.
Never a bad thing to include them in your project.
No, but you know what doesn't have Clint Howard?
This movie?
Fantastic Planet.
Doesn't have Dick Miller either.
No.
It could have used Dick Miller.
Could have used Dick Miller. A lot more Dick Miller in my. I mean, hey, Dick Miller is the reason Gremlins 1 and 2 is so good.
The only reason.
The sole reason.
That's a joke, by the way.
Gremlins 2 is amazing.
I worship at the altar of both of those films.
I was about to say, I have a Mogwai and Stripe in our living room. I love Gremlins.
How big are they? Oh, okay. All right.
En petit.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of mentioning to Kate that there are like prop, like screen versions.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
And I have one of those.
Shit.
The $300 Gremlin gizmo.
Good Lord.
And guess what happened? Gizmo. It fell and its hand broke off. So I glued its hand back on, and if you look really closely, his hand's broken off. But it looks really cool. I'll tell you that much.
For $300, it better look really cool.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I sold a lot of like other stuff to buy it. It was like I sold a bunch of stuff and bought one thing. So it's like you're condensing down.
You don't have to justify your purchase.
No, fuck no.
Of a life-size gremlin.
I got wasted for this shit. I've spent more money on.
No, same.
You know, Ed Grimley from SNL. I love Ed Grimley. Pull string Ed Grimley doll.
Oh, I had one of those in my.
I am jealous of both of you.
And an Ernest doll, a pull string talking Ernest doll. So
Lord, I have the not on me, but the talking Pee-wee doll.
Same. I have the talking Pee-wee, and the thing I've always wanted to get is the cherry that the Pee-wee sits.
I used to have cherry.
Oh man. You know what doesn't have cherry in it? This movie.
This movie.
Cherry could have been in this movie easily.
On this episode of the Culture Cast, I'm joined by my two good friends, all the way from Diabolique and Mondo Heather Drain.
Hello.
And all the way from Parts Unknown. You don't know where he's from. You've never seen the things that he's seen. One and only Father Malone.
Kind of a dark destination, would you say?
It's kind of a dark destination.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Take a taxi to a dark destination.
Yes, you can do that, right? Where Banachek will be waiting.
Right.
At the night gallery. That's too many podcasts, bro.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like me.
Yeah, it's too much now.
What's going on, bro? Did you not learn from me that was a mistake?
No.
You saw me struggling with 8 podcasts and went, this seems like a good idea. Let me make more work for myself.
I can top him.
Bro, I genuinely, the fact that Dark Destinations is a solo project is more work than I have done on any of the shows I've ever worked on. So
yeah, but I just show up on a lot of these and just talk. So it's not that big a deal. Really.
That's fair. Are you telling me that you're putting in the work of editing all the shows you never got a chance to edit by doing Dark Destinations?
Which shows are you talking about? Are you making fun of me right now?
No. I'm saying like all the shows. No, just the shows you've been on. I would go guest on somebody's show if I didn't have to edit it all the time. Holy shit. You think I want to edit anything? Come on. Who wants to edit?
I free up a lot of my time being on just sort of guesting on stuff now, but I don't think I've given myself any more time because the projects that I have taken on are now massively time consuming. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like you're making up for all the editing you're not doing by doing more of an editing job than I would ever even.
What should be a boon for relaxation is not in any way. It's just I've managed to pile more work on myself.
360 degree soundscapes are normally not made by one person, bro.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate for you describing it as such.
Oh, you're welcome. So, Father Malone, I want to know, before we talk about this movie, why did you pick this movie?
Did I pick this movie? I think Heather picked this movie.
No, you picked it.
No, you picked it there, boss. I had never seen Heather, had you seen it before?
A long time ago.
Okay, so so this was a you pick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was 100%.
Okay. This is a movie that I always loved. I think for a long period of time, animation was just for kids in the eyes of basically everyone on Earth. And we got a couple of adult animations here and there with obviously Ralph Bakshi and such. But this is around the same time period. And while the American American animated films that were sort of catering to adult were very one-dimensional in a way. They're like sort of actiony or kind of silly.
Or Fritz the cat.
And like, no one was doing any thinking. No one was doing any like real science fiction-y thinking. And here comes this thing from France, which I had not been privy to until I got to California. So I was 18. That's when I became a projectionist at the New Wilshire Theater in Santa Monica. And I think I'm sure I've told you before, Chris, but the theater itself had formerly been a vaudeville theater. So there was still behind the screens a fly space and a backstage area where the company itself kept every print that they kept in rotation as on calendars across the country. And Fantastic Planet was one of those prints. And I had keys to the building. So I was able to go in and watch this movie before we opened. And I did a lot because I hadn't seen anything like this. I mean, in fact, even the style of animation, I think like the closest thing I can think of at the time is like Terry Gilliam. And even his was just sort of cut and paste. This is like a beautiful form of animation. It's not painted at all. It's all like colored pencil or something. So for those reasons, just the sheer sort of difference of animation, I think this is a worthy movie. And then it's one of these movies where it's a revolution story, but it's kind of the best of what science and speculative fiction does, which is it's broad enough in its characterization that any group in any struggle can just sort of plug themselves into it. And the movie's really fucking weird and cool and the script is awesome. And I'm a sucker for that jazz flute. Anyway, any run on a jazz flute like thing, which this movie is chock full of. All these reasons are the reason I recommended the movie.
Damn.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was,
I mean, really, no,
man.
it was.
Hey, so on that
do we
note,
even need to talk about the movie?
Yeah, on that
Jesus,
note, like,
you just
later.
nailed it.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah. So yeah, on that note, let's talk about Fantastic Planet.
Fantastic Planet. Special Grand Prize, Cannes Film Festival. Fascinating. A fine adventure story. Brilliant. I recommend it. Spellbinding science fiction.
Like Father Malone mentioned, it did come out in the 1970s, 1973 to be exact, the United States. It is directed and written by René Laloux, based on a series of stories from French science fiction called Hommes en Série. And it's about, well, like Father Malone said, it's about a revolution on a distant planet involving those who are being oppressed and those who are doing the oppressing.
Also, this film has some good kind of French puns, because like the Oms are the humans, and it's like spelled O-M, but in French, like Hommes, which is Hommes, les Hommes, is man.
Right.
And then you have a character Terre, which I think it's spelled, is it just Terr?
Yep.
Correct.
But La Terre, which is Terre, is the earth.
Right.
And when he's named, the character says he's a terrible little thing, and she goes, "Oh, I'll call him Terre." So I'm sure Terrible is in there as well. So it's it's like layer on layer on layer, which you're not getting from Fritz the Cat. I'm sorry, I love Ralph Bakshi and Arkrum, but you're not going to get that. Anyway.
I don't love Ralph Bakshi. So
I do.
You're not
I
offending
do.
me.
There's people listening who do love it, and I agree with them. So, but I don't love it for these reasons. Sorry,
I don't need to see cat cock, bro. For me,
that's a sentence of the night.
I don't need to see no cat cock. I mean, for me, Ralph Bakshi, I don't know what he was trying to say. I know what they're trying to say here, though. But I'm going to ask Heather. Heather, what did you think of this movie?
It was really nice to revisit it, because I saw this first in high school. And I mean, I liked it okay then, but I think there are a lot of things that kind of I appreciate more now, especially the fact that Roland Topor was so heavily involved in it. And because, of course, he was one of the founding guys of the Panic movement, along with Jodorowsky and Fernando Arrabal. And in fact, if you watch Arabal's Viva la Muerte, the opening illustrations, like during the credits, is Roland Topor. So it was really cool to see Topor's thumbprint, but in such a different capacity. Because Viva la Muerte is 100 majillion miles away from Fantastic Planet on so many levels, but both are brilliant. So yeah, I mean, I think like what Father Malone said, it's beautiful, like the colors, the textures. Like I kind of would get lost in just some of the slight shading and detail. It's also nice seeing something that's fairly short. I know that sounds weird, but we kind of live in a weird era where mainstream cinema is like the length of a Wim Wenders movie, which I'm fine with Wenders, but it's nice sometimes to have a variety of length in your life, you know?
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be 4 hours to be important, for Christ's
exactly.
sake.
I mean, it needs to be 5.
The more economical
split it into two movies
is the more impactful it can be.
2.5 hour movies. How's that?
Exactly. If they were going to make this now, they are. It's like Avatar now, right? Just really dumb and American and stupid, and over a 6 film series that nobody actually.
James Cameron will have you're excited to see his movie.
Jesus Christ, man, he's full of vim and vigor these days.
Very angry.
God Almighty, he's yelling about something or other every day.
But but that's the thing that's really impressive about this film is you think about it, it's barely over an hour long, and yet it tells this complete story and paints this entire world in a way that doesn't feel thin. It doesn't feel like you're missing out a huge detail or anything. Like it's such a beautifully compact film. And I'm not somebody that's necessarily anti-long films. I mean, every piece of art has a different length that it needs to be. Like some films are brilliant that are 3 hours long, and some films are great that are 5 minutes long. But this is such just a tight gem of a movie.
Yeah, movies that are good that are 3 hours long that don't even feel like 3 hours. Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, this, and I will say, to the length of this movie, I think it's always smart to keep animation short, because I also think it's hard to keep people's attention for 2 hours with animation. Mm. And I don't know why, and I don't think it's anything inherent to animation. I think at some point it's just like, this is enough, because like animation allows for a lot more than normal film. I mean, they're doing things in this that they could not do with a real practical set in 1973, let alone now. And that's what is fantastic about artwork, but also these are people hand drawing things. You can't also expect, I mean, Jesus Christ, right? Can only imagine the amount of work that went into this.
It must have been ridiculous. Right. I don't understand an animator. I know some animators. I do not understand the brain of them, that it's over and over and over again. Like Tim Burton was an animator for like one movie, right? And then lost his mind and quit and became a filmmaker.
Yeah. Just those people will move on their own. You mean I don't have to move them every fucking frame?
Yeah.
What is that all about?
No. I think I read that it took them a little over 3 years.
It shows. It is lovingly rendered, and the designs are so cool. I mean, the
gorgeous,
the Ohm design. They are designed. I kind of want to smack them all. I don't. I'm not necessarily on the Ohm side. Maybe it's just Tear. Tear as a child bugs the shit out of me. But every other design in this movie is beautiful, particularly the creatures. Oh my God, those random animals.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like the color that's thrown in, like the creatures, like the fauna and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's where you have your bread and butter of these kinds of things. That's where you really set the stage and the world and make it interesting and give like we're joking about James Cameron, but like, he doesn't give you anything to look at. Looks all very the same, blue and green and blue and green and blue and green. And there's blue and green and red and all kinds. There's something to look at anytime something's going on, really. I mean, there's something to look at because it's just so well done. It's such a distinct decision too. Like the colors are really distinct. It's a specific choice. And I like it a lot. I really do. Like it just the style and the look of it alone is worth coming back to. Take away all the message that the movie has. And it's just a joy to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people say, like, we're speaking about James Cameron here. And the Avatar movie was just like Dances with Wolves, but with
Fern
giant
Gully,
blue,
dude,
or Fern Gully, exactly, right. So it's like the simplest story, but the thing is, he kind of got away with it because the visuals are so impressive. Here, it's a similar thing in that, like, they're not reinventing the wheel with this tale of master and slave. Like, that's we've seen it a billion times, but everything we're talking about, all the visuals on display are just so phenomenal. How can you not invest in this in a much deeper way than you could ever, as far as I'm concerned, in an Avatar world of those characters or anything? Like, these characters are thinly drawn, perhaps because it's the movie is so brief, but like, I understand these people's struggles and emotions like 1,000% more than any character in an Avatar. I don't know why we're comparing these two movies, but I guess James Cameron just went off and did it again.
Pretty apt. I mean, it's a pretty apt comparison, though.
Yeah.
I've never seen Avatar.
Do yourself a favor. continue that trend.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Do yourself a favor and we'll watch it. I'll pick that as the movie we all watch next.
No, Chris.
We have to prepare for the sequel. We have to prepare for the sequel.
No,
Thank you for acknowledging that, though, Father Malone. But yeah, I
mean, Chris says, "Wait."
Go ahead and fuck yourself. But seriously, I mean, you say there's no like, why are we comparing it to Avatar? But it is the same fucking story,
right?
And more to the indigenous and the invaders and the indigenous people, because there's also that going on. At least my perception of it. Again, maybe they were always living there, but the perception of the humans by the aliens is that they're savages, which always conjures up the indigenous and unindigenous, the colonizers' indigenous comparison.
Absolutely.
I don't mean to laugh, Chris. You putting quotation marks over every noun for that last sentence was amazing.
I have to.
The aliens.
I don't know what you call them. Blue people.
The blue people.
The Na'vi. Come on.
Yeah, right. Oh, sorry.
The Na'vi.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
The Na'vi.
The thing I really respect about Fantastic Planet, going back to
the thing we're here to talk about.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
You brought up Avatar last, not me for once. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he did it.
Anywho, no, I don't know.
Go for it.
No, it's because on one hand, you're right, Chris. Like, the struggles that are part of the message is we've seen that a lot, and for good reason, because it's layered throughout human history. But the thing that I really like this film is that there's cruelty with every facet. Like, it's just a cruel world. It's like the Crags aren't total villains. The Alms aren't total heroes. Like, they're capable of great cruelty too. Right down to, you get to hear the sentence, bring out the combat animals, shit's about to get fucked up. And even the nature itself. You have that weird laughing tree creature that laughs and then kills these birds, bird type things. And the landscape is littered with these poor creatures' corpses. From a distance, it just looks like flora and fauna. And then they get that closer shot and you realize, no, these are bodies. You get that kind of detail. So,
and you know what? That's another thing that I really like about this movie, and I admire in any sort of science fiction thing, where things happen that are clearly a necessity. Like it's not just some superfluous thing, but it's completely alien to us, and they do not bother to explain it. I love that. And this movie is just from beginning to end nothing but that.
I'll say replete with those kinds of things.
Yeah, wait, what is happening here? Clearly, they know what's happening. So as long as they know, I'm comfortable. I can follow. But the movie is beautiful for that. Like the meditation scene where they kind of come apart. The crags that Tiva stumbles into, that whole thing.
Oh, right, where they make love.
Yeah, it's no, not when they're making love. It's when the three guys are in their living room or something, and they're meditating, and there's this weird little whip hand that comes out of the ceiling.
Yes.
And it keeps touching them as they're disintegrating and reforming, and
so beautiful.
They say they're meditating, but what the fuck is going on? What is that whip thing? I don't know, but okay.
I'm down with the
they believe it. I believe it.
Actually, I love that because I don't know about you guys. I get really annoyed when people complain about genres and horror and sci-fi, where they're like, well, why does this happen? And why does that happen? And it's like, can't we have some mystery? I'm not, I get kind of, I literally.
When did we need everything explained to us? When did that become the whole reason for popular entertainment? Give me something and then explain why it happened. How about just something happens?
You don't remember you don't remember at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings where they explained what the Ring of Power did for 4 hours? I'm with you. I don't understand. I don't understand the value of treating your audience like idiots.
Yeah, or little children, and here, let's. And it's no, but also. Think about it. There's plenty of shit in real life that you can't explain. That's
absolutely
life.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Or fucking blankets.
How does anything work, really?
But I just love that You referenced the Insane Clown Posse, which is literally the last podcast I recorded and I was on. The Insane Clown Posse came up. And then Father Malone sent us.
Oh, the Insane Clown Pesci.
Yeah. The Insane.
Hey.
Which I was not down with that clown.
No.
That's not the kind of clown that I get down with.
No.
Because I don't find him amusing.
No. They got to have the big red nose.
Honk, honk.
And the stench of Thunderbird.
I think the real question is, can we figure out a way to make it where the leaders in our country are shown with octopuses on their heads? Do you remember the guy with the goddamn octopus on his head that is just walking around?
I loved that. Like, it was like a purple, like a small purple octopi.
That was just on his head. Are you serious?
I was not privy to this information.
Yeah, the leader of the Ohm has like a purple octopus on his head.
Oh, the leader of the Ohm. I thought we were talking about Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, was there like?
Remember when he had an octopus on his head?
Yeah, like was there some famous like juggalo like running around with an octopus on his head? Like I missed that internet like wave. Like,
what would his name be?
Oh, geez.
MC Tentacles with a Z. Tentacles, they'd be spelled really weird. TY.
The number 9 is in there randomly.
Yeah, tentacles.
No, he'd just be called Ocho for the arms.
Oh, that's a good one. Is there any other animation like this now even?
A lot of stop motion animation
right
is similar to this. A lot of like adult themes, and we're not going to bother to explain things to you. I don't know that there are tons of animated films coming out with this disregard for allowing the audience to know what the plot or the surroundings are.
It just reminds me of a lot of those like 70s sci-fi books, you know, like
100%.
Star Prince Charlie, lots of the stuff that like Piers Anthony, stuff like that. Like
Robert Heinlein. Right.
That guy, like that's honestly, this just reminded me of a live action, like not a live action, but like a film version of that, as live action as they could make it at the time, which is animated, because there's no good way to make this story at the time. I'm not sure there is now.
There's a weird thread of sci-fi that with primitivism versus futurism, which this one falls kind of squarely into. And not only that, this takes the Ohms are clearly from Earth and now have been transported to their planet in some way. Whether did they explain them? Whether were they retaken or did we get there? I don't know. But
I think they were taken.
Yeah, and we have films of their home world, and they show the ruins of civilization. Like, look, isn't it? By the way, my favorite moment in the entire movie is they're having a conference on what to do with the Ohms, and the speaker is like, some of you are even petting these Ohms during meditation, and they cut to a guy in the audience who has an Ohm in his hand. He's like, ooh, like he hides it like that. I love that little moment. Anyway.
See, I liked when you see the Ohms sort of magical, like mating ritual. You notice the music got a little funky.
Oh yeah.
It's a little sexy.
With the crags? Or
no, with the Ohms.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they take like what looks like almost like peyote, and they're all glowy, and they go.
Oh, right. And they split off, and and it's all bioluminescent and everything. This movie is so fucking crazily cool with the visuals. I don't know.
Man, yeah, no, that's the thing, because I've always been very hot and cold on animation with movies. And I mean,
which ones do you like?
Which ones? I like this one. I love Belladonna of Sadness, which
we brought that up
last time.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. I too like Ralph Bakshi. I haven't seen everything he's done, but I really love.
Some of it is garbage. I'm sorry, but a lot of it is not great. But some of the early stuff.
But I think he's really compelling. Like I respect anybody that puts themselves out there to do something different. Yes, a provocateur.
Of a pretty cool world, I've heard.
I haven't seen Cool World.
When I was saying he's had some stinkers, that's kind of what
that's the stinker of stinkers.
But in his defense, anybody that's made a number of movies, you're going to have, unless you're just one of those lucky actors, you're going to have some things on that filmography that aren't great.
Yeah, Cool World is worse than not great.
It's real bad.
It's cool.
It's incoherent and a waste of everyone involved.
Was there a lot of studio interference?
I'm sure there's a huge story going on. I think he was supposed to be making like I think he probably pitched it as it's the adult Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then he just wanted to make one of his bullshit stories, and then I'm sure there was a kerfuffle or something. I don't know. I had a couple of friends who were working as animators on it, and all they did was tell me like tales of woe about the production, but I didn't know what the higher ups were doing or anything.
Mm-hmm. But as far as other animated movies that are like features, I don't know. I've seen some Miyazaki that I liked. Perfect Blue's really good. Thought that was incredible. I haven't seen a ton just because I'm so put off. Like I'm such a visual person. If I'm not enchanted with how it looks visually as art, I'm not probably going to watch it. That's why I haven't seen like a lot of like newer animation, because I'm not the biggest fan of how like a lot of computer generated art. And I'm not a total elitist. Like I've seen people do computer art that's gorgeous. I don't know. I'd like to see more out of the box stuff, I guess, with animation.
I would like them to stop doing computer animated hand-drawn animation, like the 3D for 2D things. Just stop. Like if you're going to be animating 3D, just do it 3D. Like and if you're going to animate something, actually hand animate it. Be novel in this day and age.
I mean,
what about you guys? Like, what are some of your favorite animated movies other than Fantastic Planet?
Go for it, Father Malone.
Fantasia's really good. I like that one. That one's beautiful.
That is well done.
Allegro non troppo is a really, really good answer to Fantasia. I forget the filmmaker's name. That's an Italian, like it's basically an evil Fantasia, or not an evil Fantasia, but a more heartfelt Fantasia, let's say. Those are both really good. I love Heavy Metal, the animated, because I was once a 13-year-old boy, so I'm sort of legally bound to love that one. Plus, Dan O'Bannon wrote one of like that B-17 segment.
Hell yeah, awesome. He did.
Yeah,
it's a great. And then I don't know, what have I liked since? I don't know.
The music kicks ass in Heavy Metal too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. That sequence in particular. That anyway. I don't know. That's kind of my thing. It has to be like I like animation where the character design is really sort of thoughtful, or like exaggerated and cool and crazy. That's sort of what catches my eye. And then honestly, the entire sort of Termite Terrace, and then what was going on at MGM, like during the heyday of the animated short, like I adore that entire, but like all of those. In fact, I just found a whole bunch I had never seen before, like available to me streaming. So those aren't necessarily feature films, but when I think animated, those are usually where my mind goes. What about you, Chris?
I want to answer with a bunch of Disney bullshit, because that's
why I kept halting, because I was like, well, I love this Disney movie and that Disney movie and that. I'm like,
I mean,
can I name a bunch of Disney movies?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to name a bunch of Disney movies, but I'm also not the biggest fan of, I mean, kids my age grew up on Lion King and stuff like that. And like, that's great and all. I've never been someone who's enamored with those kinds of movies. I don't know. Like, it's not that I dislike animation. That's not even it. It's just like, I think I'm with y'all. It's got to be something really novel or fun or interesting to really pique my interest. And I can't even think of anything right now. Cause like the Miyazaki movies I've seen, they're okay. Like, I don't know. Like, they're not made for me, clearly. Like, they're not made for me. And it's cool. Like, I get that. Heavy Metal's fun. I don't know. I don't gravitate towards animation. So.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I said like half to 2/3 of Heavy Metal. Like, I found it's a little uneven, but
it's wildly uneven. It's actually a lot of it is actually kind of bad story wise. It's not good, but the designs are crazy cool, except for that Mobius one, which all looks muddy and weird.
Well, I just remember like as a kid seeing there's like a saucy sequence, and when you're a kid you're like, ooh, boobies, and they're animated boobies, like whoa, but then like they ruin it by having Journey's open arms.
Oof. You know what? Like not only that, but like I said, I've seen that scene a lot. The right before the guy makes a sandwich and he uses this like he takes a canister out, and it's like a compression can, like it hisses when it opens, and then it pours out this mayonnaise, and he like eats it, and then like 2 seconds later they're having sex. Like, so it's all gross because Journey's playing on top of all of that. Yeah.
I see. If I think about it, the thing I've watched the most animation wise is The Simpsons.
And how could you not?
Really? I mean, I was watching it as a kid when it was in the best seasons of the show. Around the 8 to 13 year mark is when people genuinely consider to be the best. And that's when I was watching it. So
that's so funny. I just was looking through the season the other day because I haven't watched it in years and years and years. And I was like, when did my interest flag? And it was season 13. Like that was when I was like, okay, I don't need to watch this anymore.
That was 17 years ago.
I have not watched a single Simpsons episode in 17 years.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
But see, that for me is my animation entry point. And I was also, right as a kid in the generation of people who grew up with stuff like Toy Story and Shrek. So, I mean, I think more about Toy Story and Shrek than I do most hand-drawn animation.
Yeah, well, that was everywhere. That's what, that was the popular thing at the time. Yeah. Like when I was a kid, it was obviously nothing but hand-drawn or, stop motion. But even those were few and far between. Like the 80s was a pretty fallow period until the end. That's when Disney started ramping back up. But even Disney they didn't know until Little Mermaid became a huge success. So,
what my favorite Disney animation is? Like the band Negativland did a video for their song "Gimme the Mermaid," and they were friends with a guy that worked at Disney, and they illicitly used the Little Mermaid in the video where it's Ariel, but she's talking like Greg Ginn, who was they have audio of Greg Ginn threatening to sue the band, and so you have Ariel saying, "I'm going to sue your ass."
Oh no, I've never seen that. And I love Negativland too.
Oh my god, you got to see it! I will send it to you guys.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, I like a lot of early 30s, like Max Fleischer.
Yeah,
and
that's just cool to look at, right?
Right.
It's beautiful. I'm trying to think of that. Oh, I can't remember his name, but there is the Russian filmmaker that made The Cameraman's Revenge, which is like stop motion bugs telling the story of infidelity and revenge.
Yeah,
it's really, really fascinating to look at. So I like stuff like that.
So I guess we really need the pretty things in order to enjoy animation, the three of us.
Yes.
I guess so.
Bugs and flappers.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to see Allegro non troppo, by the way. I remember reading Michael Weldon did a write-up of it for one of the Psychotronic books. And ever since then, I'm like, God, I need to see that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Really. And the sort of finale sequence is just unbelievable. Anyway. Yeah, you obviously want to see it. I don't know why I'm pumping.
No. I want to hear somebody listening. Penis-tongued creatures?
Penis-tongued creatures? No.
Yeah, the flying bird thing in this movie.
Oh, this thing.
Phallic stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of phallic stuff going on. A lot of weird stuff going on. A lot of just body horror adjacent stuff.
I felt so bad for that one, that creature though when they kill it. Even though it's understandable that they killed it, I don't know.
How many of them did it kill, that thing?
I know. You know what it is?
It's the one that sticks its tongue in. And
the penis tongue. It looks like a dick.
This is, I'm not proud of this, but my sympathy always tends to go more for animals than people.
Well, you know what? You did touch on this earlier, Heather. Mm-hmm. The story is so fairly and sort of balanced in its storytelling. Like the Ohms are just as savage as the Crags make them out to be, and the Crags are just as savage as they deny themselves. But we do get everyone's point of view. So right down to the flora and fauna on this fantastic planet. The way it's animated, of course, we feel bad for that animal watching it be killed. I wasn't cheering for those humans in that sequence, they were just proving what horrible savages they could be as well.
I think I know why Tear as a boy may have annoyed you. Was it the fact that Tiva dressed him like a Cirque du Soleil member?
Oh my God.
100%. I just want to smack that big puffy headdress right off his skull.
I like those puffy shoes, man.
Yeah, okay, we all want a pair of those, but the headdress is too much.
Thunk, you hear you coming from a mile away.
Those were totally some Lady Gaga shoes from
Oh yeah, she should show up as an Ohm in a performance. It'd be fantastic.
I would love that. Lady Gaga is Tear.
Yeah.
and Fantastic Planet on Broadway.
In La Planète, sauvage. I think that's a better title. I think The Wild Planet is a better title, right?
Right. Fantastic Planet. Look, the first time I watched this movie, I actually thought I was building Forbidden Planet. So yeah, but Savage Planet, which is obviously what the real title is, is way more appropriate. Like everything is a savage in this world, and it's all about finding a balance or something. But like fantastic, yes, it is fantastic in a fantastique way, but it isn't like woohoo, this is great and this fantastic. We're on a roller coaster. No, this entertainment has a price to it.
And it has like that great balance of beauty and brutality too, because like even when you're seeing something that's really pretty vicious, I mean, like they bathe in that animal's blood as it's like spigoting out of its head, but the way
like 20 feet in the air,
yeah, like they definitely hit an artery with that.
Yeah,
but even the way it's done, and then the music, like the soundtrack is, which the soundtrack alone is kind of like in some ways it's the most. And I say this with love. It's the most dated thing about it, but I don't mind that. I love it. I mean, that's I always get irritated when people say, "Oh, this and that is dated," like it's a bad thing. It's like, so is it good? That's all that matters. And
the guitar player wore out his wah-wah pedal during the recording of this particular soundtrack. It's fucking awesome. It really is. It super dates the movie. Everything in the movie dates the movie though. And it's still as, I think, impactful as it, I wasn't there. I mean, I was born that year, but I wasn't around. I didn't know the climate of 1973, so I can't tell you how impactful it was on them, but I found it at, age 18, 19, thought it was pretty damn powerful. And I watched it again. I'm almost 50 and I still feel that way.
I think I just love the fact that like little baby Malone was ushered into this world.
Same year
that baby Tear.
Yeah. Like,
still hard
like Mark Twain and Halley's Comet. They came in and they'll go out together. So when they finally burn the negative for Fantastic Planet, that's when I'll go.
That is the second time now in 2 days that someone has brought up Mark Twain and Halley's Comet.
Oh, really?
Oh,
weird.
Wow.
That's fucking strange. And you used it the exact same way. Can't be that much of a coincidence. Came in on Halley's Comet, left on Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
He just went home, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mark Twain just went home.
Did you ever see that claymation, The Adventures of Mark Twain?
Is that the one? I think I've seen clips of it. Is it the one where like this creature says, "I'm an angel," and it's fucking terrifying?
Yeah. Yes.
That is fucked up.
Will Vinton, who did the horribly racist Step and Fetch It California Raisins, also did this movie, which was a beautiful film where the characters from Mark Twain's stories interact with him. It's Becky Thatcher and Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, like on this adventure in this like airship, and they're jumping in and out of his stories. And at one point they get in an elevator that takes them up to the mysterious stranger, which if listeners, if you haven't read, go read it. It's literally my favorite story in all of literature. And yes, it involves a character who is in fact an angel sort of interact. If it's Fantastic Planet in like a maybe 3-minute segment, like all of the horrors of humans and our overlords and a master servant relationship. And it's all the bitterness of Mark Twain sort of post the death of his wife, like sort of condensed. And it is, anyway, I'm gushing.
No, I love it.
That's the movie. You're right. That is the movie I was talking about.
Yeah, actually, you talking about that brought up, and I can't believe I didn't immediately think of this, like a great animator who never made a feature film, but worked a lot with Frank Zappa as Bruce Bickford.
Remind me.
Yeah, he did. There was a VHS put out called The Amazing Mr. Bickford, but you see his work a lot in Baby Snakes, like the film that Frank did. And he used Zappa heads.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit, not into Zappa.
No, it's okay.
He's impenetrable to me. I've tried numerous times over the years. I just can't get through that wall. I'm no gatekeeper. Like different things for different people, but I do highly recommend checking out at least a little bit of Bruce Bickford out there. I'm just explaining my ignorance and not, in Bickford's knowledge of him. That's all.
This is we are here for a communion of different minds.
Right.
and Friendship and Fantastic Planet.
And Fantastic.
And I love the way that Chris says the French title. It makes it sound like a cologne I want to buy.
La Planète, sauvage.
I would buy that like
Au revoir.
Mais oui.
I'm glad. You know what's funny? I'm glad this is on HBO Max, and it almost makes sense there because HBO Max has quickly become an interesting repository for adult animation.
Yeah.
Weird.
Crazy. It's because of all those hubs. That's why. Because it's Turner Classic Movies and the Adult Swim and what the Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers, right? No. Warner Brothers is a separate thing. What's
Warner,
the other cartoon?
But Warner is HBO Max.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, that and just what I was saying, like watching sort of. You can watch they've broken them into seasons of Warner Brothers animation from the beginning, like with Bugs Bunny and clips like I've literally not seen before. And I've now been plumbing Disney Plus for their sort of animation shorts, which all come with disclaimers now. It's insane. I love it.
Disclaimers for what?
We might be presenting something that's was once culturally sort of standard, and it wasn't right then, and it's not right now. Here's the thing you wanted to watch.
Huh?
But they still won't show Song of the South.
No, I haven't come across it yet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and they've taken out the ride as well, which is good because I hated that ride anyway.
Which ride was that?
Splash
That was
Mountain.
the Splash Mountain.
Oh my God! Oh shit! You're right.
Yeah, it's now a Princess and the Frog ride.
I love that ride because I love the animatronics.
Well, yeah, because watching a beautiful character design come to life is wonderful, but not
the racism part. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Do
I really need Brer Bear. No.
I'm glad I got to do Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. The one time I've been to Disney, it was awesome.
That's not going anywhere.
My favorite.
I don't think.
Yeah,
no, it hasn't.
Never go
Mr.
anywhere.
Toad has been revealed as an
riot.
abhorrent racist.
Oh no!
In a tweet from 1994, Mr. Toad, you said this. It wasn't me. Yeah. It was my brother, Mr. Toad. I don't know what Mr. Toad, as opposed to Mr. Toad. God.
Mr. Oh, Chris.
Yeah. What is the deal with Song of the South?
What do you mean?
Like why in this point in time not just release it?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. As an artifact, I've seen, you go to the South sometimes and they'll have a Confederate museum. And I've had friends who are just like, fucking burn that to the ground. I'm like, no, it's good. You go in and look at it. Like it happened. But
it's good to remember.
Yeah.
Because if we
don't want to wipe it out. Like it occurred and we need to see it from time to time. So, I don't know.
I don't know what the point of hiding it is because it's a pretty open secret that it exists.
Yeah, there's pictures of it. I'm sure you can find clips of it still. Like,
at one point I had, as a kid, speaking of in the 90s, I had a VHS of sing-alongs from Disney live action movies, and one of them was Song of the South.
Zippity doo-dah, right?
Yeah, zippity, exactly. And it's like, and that was released by Disney in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Take some chances for fuck's sake.
They're throwing disclaimers on everything. And like, is it illegal or is it a moral thing that they're doing? Like, I don't know.
It's a moral choice.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, is it actively racist though? Or is it just like, oh, we're embarrassed about the way we were so casually racist? You know what I mean? Like, I have not seen the movie since I was a kid, but I did see it when I was a kid because it was once available.
I mean, is it like this though? If Song of the South had been a serious movie, would they have released it? Like Fantastic Planet is a serious movie that tackles serious issues.
Yeah.
Seriously, for the most part. Would Song of the South be released if it was taking that seriously as opposed to, really romanticizing it and adding a fucking animated rabbit?
Yeah, it would never have gone out if it was actually tackling racism in the South and like sort of during the Reconstruction. Then I think it wouldn't have gone out of print ever. But it's so sort of like cavalier with its like Southern caricatures and morally questionable tale telling.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a problem when people try to kind of rewrite history. I mean, to me, that's also kind of the problem with it. It's like if Disney trying to keep acting like, oh, you know, we want to distance ourselves. Well, no, own up to your bullshit. Own up to it.
Yeah, that's another thing, right?
You know, and especially because there's always a danger people have short-term cultural memory as it is. That way, if you preserve history, preserve, you know, historical artifacts, whether it's a movie or whatever, you know, you can say, no, people did this back then. You know, I mean, I remember like, God, in 2016, I had two different people argue with me that there was no Cold War fear in the 1980s. Thank you. But I could pull up.
Were these people that were alive in the 80s, or people say, oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, what insular lifestyle were they living?
Yeah, where the hell?
I slept under my bed sometimes.
Midwest, bro. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, it's just that it's also cultural. People forget. People tend to kind of live in their own bubbles in their own life, and they forget, which is why it's important to preserve everything. So that way, if they have that little lapse of memory, you could be like, here's this piece of history. Let's not do this bullshit again.
Yeah. In that way, it's actually morally the right thing to do, to make it available, like at least on a streaming thing, and put on your disclaimer, like, look, we're not endorsing this, but like, look what we did, and we're sorry.
Yeah. Make it an educational thing.
Yeah. Like what they're doing by keeping it is virtue signaling, like, look how good we are, but like they should make it available, go, look how good we are by owning up to our own bullshit. Like you said, Heather.
Yeah.
Well, owning up to it is making it your problem. Right now, like you said, they're just on a moral high ground. They own up to it, and then it's their problem. Then people are going to ask questions.
Right.
Why?
Right. Yeah. They don't want any more conversations.
Right. They just want it to, if they could have it their way, they probably wish it had just been released and they could just deal with the fact.
We would have already had the conversation like 10 years ago, though, and it would have been over now. So
yeah. Plus they could probably honestly say everybody that made this film is dead now. So like the people working at Disney now didn't.
Yeah. Right. Like
what choice we're in the same shit situation that you guys are.
Yeah.
But then you come to something.
Right. Like, exactly. Like, I've just got to this company. I'm 28 years old. Let me tell you, like, we're not thrilled that we made this either.
Yeah.
But then you come to something like this, and it's like, but you have film directors willing to take those risks.
Oh, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find an artist with more testicular fortitude than Roland Topor. I mean,
what else has he done?
What?
He was in Nosferatu. He was in that Herzog Nosferatu.
He only founded an anarchic art movement, sir, with Hortorowski and Fernando Arrabal. Come on, God damn it!
Yes,
Roland Topor's the man.
Yes, I love this film in particular. You know,
have you seen?
I'm not as well versed in the rest of his oeuvre. Which is the next Cologne, Chris. After
oeuvre. Sauvage.
Sauvage oeuvre. Put them together.
Yeah.
Put them together.
I like that Herzog Nosferatu movie. That's a fun movie.
It's, oh my God, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. The soundtrack, every frame of it. Oh, it's one of my favorites. I mean, Kate Bush sampled it. She sampled that soundtrack. So there you go.
And obviously she was a prescient lady. So.
Boy, wasn't she? Must be nice.
Christ almighty. Yeah, she
mother of fucking God.
Hey, you know what? If this maybe gets her on tour and I can finally fucking see her after 40 fucking years, then, I'll endure the millennials putting their TikTok fucking running up that hill.
Hey, I if it's getting people into Kate Bush,
yeah, man,
that's awesome.
100%.
Okay, but what
if they buy even one of her albums?
What if she tours with Demigorgons dancing around on stage while she's singing?
Don't care.
Wow.
Don't care. It'll be magic.
I would go see it. I would.
She's never toured here.
No.
The Demigorgons just waving their hands, running up that hill.
Dude, I would dress as a Demigorgon if I could see Kate Bush perform even one song. Any song from her catalog she wanted.
Now she's going to tour, and now you're going to have to do it, and that's on you, not on me.
I have not seen 1 minute of Stranger Things, and I would dress up as a Demigorgon to go see Kate Bush. I will go with you, Father Malone. We will do this. Yeah.
Honestly,
she's worth it.
Honestly, yes. Stranger Things is not bad.
No, I've heard it's good. I just
in fact, I hadn't seen how they used it, but I was obviously inundated like we all are now with it. And I was like, shut the fuck up already. And then that sequence came on and I was like, it's so good. Like I cannot in any way be mad at this.
Nope.
So, and that is one of my favorite songs. That was in Keith Gordon used it in the Chocolate War, like literally the year it was released.
We talked about that in our last episode, didn't we?
Yeah, it plays over the end credits of that, and I have been obsessed since the age of 14 with that song. So like I'm happy everyone's listening to it, but at the same time now everyone's stopped.
And now it's Master of Puppets.
Yes, good. Keep it. Go.
We
go
just
with
found
that.
out about this song, Master of Puppets.
Exactly. Good. Everybody, I'm glad you all figured it out.
True story. I actually sprained my ankle in junior high trying to dance to a song off of her third album, Never Forever. I'm not a good dancer, it turns out.
Kate Bush injury.
True. And this was like the mid 90s. Like other kids nobody else knew who Kate Bush was. So it's kind of nice. I'm like, finally, come on.
Right, exactly.
I had never heard that song before the show.
Oh, okay.
But see, that's cool. You are now welcome to our club.
Right.
The Kate Bush Club.
It's good. She's good.
It's a gorgeous song.
Yeah.
This woman's work. Everyone should try listening to that one. Everybody. Tear your fucking heart out of your chest.
Oh my God. Have either one of you ever seen Blackadder? The British.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That video, Chris, if you haven't seen Blackadder, it's hilarious British show from the early mid 80s. Right? Yeah. But one of the actors that's in that is in the music video for this women's work. And I'm not going to spoil that video for you, but oh my God, just ripped my heart out of my chest and eat it, Kate Bush. Oh, it's just that. And also Cloud Busting. That music video always makes me cry.
Yeah.
This is the magic of this woman.
Yeah, she's got something.
Yeah.
She's tuned in somehow.
And now she's getting that Stranger Things money, baby.
Fucking A, good for her.
She deserves it.
That's like when Trainspotting came out, suddenly everyone in the world was into Iggy and the Stooges. And all of my fucking hipster friends were like, fuck this. And I'm like, you guys are being assholes. Like the culture finally caught up to what was cool. Like just let it be. Like, let these geniuses fucking, revel in their, genius.
Turns out that Danny Boyle is not a genius.
No, he's not a genius. Not Danny Boyle. Iggy Pop.
That's fair. I thought you were talking about Danny Boyle. I was like, also not a genius.
No, not a genius. You see that Pistol Show? He's not a genius.
Oh, I refuse to watch that.
I saw Slumdog Millionaire. I've seen enough.
Oh well.
No, I and especially
you know what? He can come back. People can come back, Chris.
I just don't see the point of the Pistol Show. Like I don't want to see it, but I also don't understand it because. Like we'll just focus on the most obvious thing. It's like the Passion of the Christ. Let's focus on the most obvious thing.
No, they think they're being clever because they think they're not focusing on the most obvious thing because they're using Steve Jones's memoir. So he's the main character of the series, which is obviously the worst possible thing they could have done because Steve Jones, like, yes, he's part of the band. Yes, he contributed, blah, blah, blah. He's a dumb person, and you have John Lydon as a character, right? So John Lydon shows up in like the last minute of the first episode, and the whole first episode is garbage, and then the second episode is fucking awesome with this kid doing John Lydon, and it's Vivian Westwood and fucking Malcolm McLaren, and like suddenly it comes to life with what must have been artistically just lightning in a bottle for a little while, and then the whole rest of the series, then it sort of clicks back to Steve Jones and it just gets progressively worse. It is terrible.
God. Well, and I mean, anybody that wants to know about the Pistols, just watch The Filth and the Fury. Like that Julian Temple documentary is fucking perfect. It's a great documentary. And it's got all of the voices. I don't need to see a recreation. I don't even like Sid and Nancy. And I love Alex Cox, but it's like, I don't know
I love Sid and Nancy.
It's a beautiful film. I'm just those people, if you know too much about, and this is so nerdy, but like if you read enough about factual history, seeing people adapt it after a while, you get kind of like anal.
Yeah.
Sid and Nancy, I mean, the acting's fucking brilliant. I love that one guy.
Oh, that whole movie's a fairy tale, but that's that's the point of it. It's a fairy tale dressed up in sort of recent tragedy. So
also there's that one guy on the bus that sings that I Want a Job song.
Yes.
I love that song. Have you seen Sid and Nancy, Chris?
Nope.
Oh.
Have you seen Jurassic Park, Chris?
You always ask me that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course.
He's a digger. That's the same guy. From Sid and Nancy.
Okay.
Did somebody say Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I did.
No. nobody listening can see this. I have I bought this dinosaur skull puppet.
Wow. Well, we've gone fancy with our.
Yeah, look at that. It makes noise.
It's like jaw guys. Now.
Not just for grabbing off the top shelf anymore. Though that noise sounds more Godzilla-esque than T-Rex.
How do you know?
I've heard Godzilla, sir. I've never heard a T-Rex.
I love Godzilla. I love Godzilla. I think that's a plus.
What are we talking about on the next episode? Do we know?
No. I guess we're gonna have to hash that out.
I mean, we talked about a couple things. I don't know if it's anything worth watching and talking about.
Well, I think there's plenty worth
plenty, baby.
About. What do you? Is there?
I don't know. I'm good with whatever.
Is there a film you've always wanted to see, Chris, and you haven't? Because this would give you the perfect reason to watch it.
Home Alone.
Really?
I've never seen Home Alone. I've never seen it. You're asking Karate Kid?
That's a new ringtone, by the way. His Father Malone saying, "You really? You've never seen Home Alone?"
I've never seen Home Alone.
Yes, either. Malone. What can I do for you?
Never seen Home Alone either.
You really haven't seen it either.
Oh wow!
I've seen enough clips of it that I'm sure I feel like I've seen the whole movie, but have I ever sat down and?
This is how I know Father Malone and I are split from the same atom. That's always my same response. I've seen enough of it to know what it is, and I know I don't want to see it.
Yeah, like I've seen what the comedy is like, and it's not for me.
Yeah, you guys are good. I was forced to watch it as a kid. I didn't hate it, but
you're a kid, like okay, everything's fun and.
I mean, somebody else picked it. I mean, yeah, Rockula, the movie we talked about last, that was a movie I picked as a kid.
That's a fun movie.
See?
I guess it's time for you to pick again as I have picked this one.
Oh, what to pick? We've done animations. I feel like we should do something different.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a comedy? Do we want to do horror?
Me, Myself, and Irene's a good movie.
No.
We've done
no.
We've done comedies. We've done animation.
We said comedy.
This ain't Scooby-Doo XXX porn parody.
I will watch that.
Is that a real? Oh God, is that a real thing?
It's gotta be.
I don't
Velma and Daphne.
Velma and the dog.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm saying,
I mean, if you're doing Scooby-Doo, I don't know what the point is if you're not. Yeah,
you're thinking.
Because we want to see Daphne and Velma. I don't care about the dog or Shaggy or anything.
I don't care about the dog.
I don't care about any guy in any porno ever. What are you talking about?
Damn, bro, you're straight. I get it.
No, listen, I'm just saying. I'm not. It was not meant that way. I'm just saying, like,
I don't look at no dicks ever. I never looked at a dick once.
Do you think in any way hetero porn caters to female viewing?
But think about it. Hetero porn is all based around big, hard, throbbing cock, and all that is
true, which is suspect for the homophobes.
That's my point.
No, it's
Are the straights okay? We need to check in on the straights. Are they okay? Because they like a lot of big fat weenies in their movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it because, like, if you're into, I actually had a friend who was straight. And he complained because he was like, "I want to see the woman's face. I want to see her boobs. I don't want to see a big old schlong." And balls.
It's true. After a while, it all just becomes surgery. Like
it's like Cronenberg.
Crimes of the future. Yeah. I will say, what is strange about pornography in general is. It is meant to be like movies in a suspension of disbelief, right? Suspension of belief, whatever you want to call it. I guess the assumption is every guy is uncomfortable with the size of their own penis. So the only expectation is you'd only ever want to watch porn with a guy with like a 13-inch hog dong. Like, is that the expectation?
Well, maybe like if you're with someone and they're telling you your dick is big and it's not, you can convince yourself. But if you're watching it objectively, it has to be big because you want it to be, like you said, Chris. It is like sort of a wish fulfillment,
right? Yeah. Why not just watch porn with normal looking dicks?
Why watch now movies? Exists? I mean, you can watch any kind you want.
Well, no, I mean there's some notable adult film actors that are a little more on the less scary size, like Gary Butler. gross. No, he's nasty.
No shit, he's nasty.
No, not just the obvious, but a friend of mine once pointed this out years ago, and he was like, do you ever notice that Ron Jeremy's penis looks like it's like grafted onto another penis? And then like I saw a film with him and I was like, I couldn't stop staring at the weird ridges, and I was like, oh God, I hate this. Like
ridges,
I'm in hell.
like a Klingon?
Yeah, it's not a pretty penis. Let's just say that.
No, it's not. It's just big. It's
nasty.
There's no eloquence to
Isn't that the
cock.
name of his autobiography? It's
Big
just
nasty.
big.
Oh, you say big nasty penis.
It's just big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic
But
the
no.
Suck Hog is more like it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like Jerry Butler, who was a great actor, on top of being an adult, like a beautiful looking man, had a perfectly normal size penis. And he actually, in his biography, said some women came up to him and appreciated that because honestly, not everybody wants to have their cervix like bruised.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, please readjust my guts, please.
What was it? There's a rapper that once said, "I'm going to get all up in them guts."
Get up in them guts. I'm gonna get up in them guts. It's so fucking disgusting.
It's nasty. I can't imagine what person would be like. Ooh.
I want you to get in them guts.
A romantic, clearly.
Clearly, someone who watches only straight porn.
Yeah,
where the dicks are big.
Right.
Father Malone.
Hey, listen,
there's a ballad.
Don't paint me that way, sir.
Is it? I feel like there's like an old prairie song.
Painting you anyway.
You're painting.
There's an old prairie song about home on the street porn where the dongs are huge and it's hardcore. I don't know, but
Father Malone, nobody would take you for anything other than a genuine human being, not a racist or bigot, for fuck's sake.
All right.
And if they do,
I worry.
I will send
fucking
them a
worry.
strongly worded letter.
We'll just tell them your favorite movie is Song of the South.
Well,
just edit it together. I love Song of the South.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just
I know you could do it.
Yeah, the most shitty edit job. I know I wouldn't do a good job. It would just be like cutting it off every time.
No, here's the thing. I know you're not going to do it.
Why the fuck would I do that? Fuck no. This probably isn't even going to make it into the show.
No, just the effort involved.
Oh, fuck you. Listen here. Not everyone has to do a 360-degree soundscape of a dong coming out. Watch out.
You do if you care.
That thud you're hearing is it hitting the floor.
Right. I shouldn't have to explain it. Shouldn't have to explain it at all.
Right. We have strayed so far from God's lovely light.
Fantastic Planet is good. Everyone should watch it.
It's a brilliant movie.
It's too bad that this was the discussion it yielded.
Right.
It's a great movie. We, on the other hand, should be ashamed of ourselves.
We are garbage.
Fuck that. Listen,
I agree.
The beautiful thing is this is a true, proper discussion.
True.
Yeah.
So with
Well,
three
wide-ranging.
To quote Robin Williams, yes, beautiful thing.
Okay. And to quote Chris, dogs, big old hog dogs.
Hog dong, baby. Cat cock and hog dong. I think wasn't that the sequel to Hickey and Boggs? Cat cock and hog dong.
Oh God.
Walter Hill's Cat cock and hog dong.
Live direct from hell. Oh my God. Oh.
With soundtrack by Rob Zombie.
Oh God.
From the future.
He would, right?
Yeah. That's what Rob Zombie would do with a time machine.
Yeah.
He'd go back and score exploitation movies.
You know what it sounds like? Every other Rob Zombie song.
Yeah, right. With just a lot of moaning and him screaming in the background.
That sounds amazing, actually.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Right? God.
Moaning and screaming.
So what are we doing on the next episode?
Well, let's do a horror movie. Do you guys want to do a horror movie?
Sure.
Yes.
Medea's Halloween?
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
That was not the first movie that came to mind, to be honest with you.
Shame on you.
Shame.
Okay. So I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm gonna name 3 movies and you guys pick which one you want to do.
Okay.
So number 1, we have the horror comedy Blood Diner. Number 2, we have Michele Suove's Stage Fright.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, we have Subspecies from Full Moon Entertainment.
I mean, you've already piqued my interest with who it's from.
I've seen all 3.
Man,
Well,
come
I
on.
figured
How you gonna- how you
he's
gonna
seen
be like
every
that?
movie.
Yeah.
So Chris, you choose.
Which
I'm
one's
good with
gonna,
any of. I'm good with any of them.
which
Yeah.
one's going to be the most fun? And are all of them going to be fun?
Blood Diner's the most fun.
Blood Diner. Subspecies, though, I think has some.
Subspecies cool. Blood Diner's fun.
Which would be a more fun conversation, you think?
Subspecies would be a fun conversation.
Let's do that one. Plus Full
Yeah.
Moon. We can talk
Yeah.
about Full Moon, the Moonbeam Video Zone, featuring such children's classics as Prehysteria and Remote.
Are we going to?
Do you guys know what those are?
I know Prehysteria.
I know of it. I've only seen clips of it.
Remote
That's
is, speaking of Home Alone, Remote is shitty Home Alone. A kid
Something's gotta do it.
a kid is in a house and he uses remote controlled toys to thwart robbers.
that's a pass.
One of them is
Right.
played. One of them is played by John Deal. The other one's played by Tony Longo.
I'm not a big fan of kids
Deal.
movies. Yeah, but Subspecies is amazing. Oh my god. I almost wanted to pick Subspecies too because that's actually my personal favorite of the series. But
We could just jump in on that one if you want.
well,
Does
but
this
I
have
want
anything to
Chris
do with species?
No, and it has nothing to do with feces either.
Sub feces.
I will watch 1 and 2 just to talk about 2 if you want.
Ooh,
That's fine.
Well, Chris, do you want to watch 1 and
That's
2?
fine. That's fine. I watch a lot of movies.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I love
What are
these movies so much.
What are these? What is movies about?
Vampires.
Oh,
And it's got beautiful cinematography. There's some great practical effects, and it's got one of the most badass vampire characters ever with Mr. Radu Vladislav. It's fucking awesome. And I love it.
I actually haven't seen the sequel, so I'm just glad.
Oh, 2's amazing. So good.
Cool.
so yeah. I guess on that note, on the next episode of the Culture Cast with these two, we're going to be talking about subspecies 1 and
Hell.
2.
Is there a 3?
Yes. And actually 2 and 3 were
Jeez.
made back to back. 3's really great too.
1 and 2 and 3.
So I guess we're watching the Subspecies trilogy for our next one.
Well, we don't have to. I don't want to put that on.
Guess
you guys.
so.
If you only want to
Yeah,
do one.
I mean, why are we not going?
Too late, Heather.
Yeah.
They made them back
You-
to back.
You found the right people for the right idea.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I've just won the lottery or something. I'm so happy.
So instead of subspecies 1 and 2, we'll talk about subspecies the trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there is a 4th one, but I don't recommend it.
Oh my
Listen,
No,
don't
no,
push
no,
your
no,
luck.
no,
There are actually 12.
There's 8 of them. No.
One of them
Seriously,
is Thor Love and Thunder. Subspecies 9.
No, I think focusing the trilogy is a pure thing. We will focus on that. That'd be my suggestion.
I am looking forward to it.
I am too.
I'm so excited. Thank you guys.
So until then, Heather, where can people find you if they wanted to track you down on the internet?
That sounds
Maybe not track you
Yeah,
down.
that's-
If they wanted to hunt
Christ.
you down.
Yeah, that sounded very creepy.
Crying. Jesus, sorry.
Please don't track me down.
If
But
you
you
want to
can't-
find Heather on the internet.
You can find my work at mondoheather.com as well as you can find me on Twitter and Instagram.
Father Malone, what about you? Where would people go to harass you on the internet?
They can harass me at fathermalone.com. It's a link tree to all of the stuff I do, including Dark Destinations, my radio drama, and Wolf and Raisin, my Banachek video podcast. Annoy me at fathermalone.com, I guess, is the answer.
Pay tribute.
Just don't annoy Father Malone at all. Be nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
If
This
you're
man
nice
is-
to him, he might change the name of his show just for you.
I will totally do that every time.
Every time.
Everyone's been really nice, actually, lately. Everyone's
That's
been
good.
really nice.
That's
Yeah.
good. It's making up for all the bullshit you've had to put up with for the last forever.
It really is. Yeah. People have sort of discovered the show and are like, this is good. I like your contents. Instead of just like, I knew that already. Meh.
I've already seen that movie, nerd.
Yeah.
And stop watching my video. But also, thanks for watching my video.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching. Thanks for listening. Because a listen and a watch is, regardless of intent, you still did it.
I did change the name of the channel to Father Malone, though. It used to be Odd Five Films.
That's
I
right.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I know. We'll keep that going forever, though, in our hearts.
The channel is named that. You've never seen it. Still, you've never seen it.
I know.
Anyway.
I was expecting you to
I've seen
change it because of that guy.
Oh, well, that's how I live my life now. I check with this random poster on YouTube and I ask him just basic life choices. Not even. I mean, the big ones, yeah, definitely. But just like what brand coffee should I be drinking?
Oh my God, wouldn't it be great if you could do that? Like, if there's one person that like wrote your hate mail, and you just start like stalking them back and being like, "Hey, you know what? I've got this rash. I've got this weird rash. What do you recommend? I was thinking about getting Benadryl."
Oh my God, become their worst nightmare.
Yeah,
the ultimate best, like Lee with Tenacious D, right? Like they become his fan. Like they become his. They obsess about him.
It's like it's like reverse creep, essentially. Like,
yeah.
Now I'm following you. Please don't harass anyone on this show, myself included. But if you want to find me, it's cstachiw.com, CSTACHIW.com. That's my link tree. Go there for all the things I work on. Father Malone and I do a couple shows together. We've completed a show, a little thing about Tales from the Crypt. Feels like a lifetime ago that we did that. But it's done. It's over. We're completed with that. But I'm on some other shows with Father Malone, and he's on some of my stuff. So if you want to find me, go there. Culturecast.com, patreon.com/culturecast, all the usual stuff. Rate and review the show on iTunes. That's all you got to do. You don't even have to give anybody money. It's free. Zero interaction with real human beings, even. If
Yay.
Right? Heather, Father Malone, as always, this was fun.
Yes, thank you for having me once again.
What is this? What would it have been better if at the end of the movie they had played a remix of the song by Art of Noise, with Dan Aykroyd singing in the background?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
It's a yes to every question that involves that item.
Actually, I guess to end the episode, what is the porn parody title of Fantastic Planet?
Oh, Astastic Planet.
Astastic.
Not going to get better than that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm overthinking it. That's
What would be the French porn title?
That was going to be mine. La Planète de Cum. The cum planet.
Is that the actual French word for it? Or are you just fucking like
La Planète de Spermatozoa.
Okay, in other words, you don't know the French word.
La Planète de Jizum.
I don't think I want to go to a jizz planet.
I don't know what sperm is in French. Alexa, what's cum in French?
I love that this is recorded for posterity.
Father Malone, you never gave your answer.
Well, I don't have one. I ain't got one for this one. Planet of fucking. I don't. Fucking planet.
Somehow, in having no answer, it's the best answer of them all.
Yeah.
Planet of fucking planet. Yeah. Well, on that note, I guess that's the end of the episode.